I had Dr. Burke on there from Prince George's Community College, and she was emphasizing that too, because not the community college, Dr. Dukes rather, it gives them an opportunity, like you were saying, to really decide what they want to do.
Absolutely.
You know, because they start out, they it may be glamorous to do this, and they find out the preparation for it is
a little bit more difficult.
Right. So they
it's a little more difficult.
Want to change, and it helps along the lines of academics too.
Absolutely. And I'm actually a product of Prince George's Community College because I received an associate degree from Prince George's Community College.
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. I received an associate for marketing, for marketing management from Prince George's Community College. Yes.
Here it is in gorgeous Prince George's. I keep telling you, we got everything. We're going to have Mrs. United States here too.
I'm praying on that.
Right.
I'm praying on that.
We're praying with you too. Everybody say a prayer for Sandra, huh?
Yes, thank you. I greatly appreciate
that. We
need
it.
Greatly appreciate that.
Right. And so having that community college is a step in the right direction.
It is.
Because so often, you find that it turns a student off, when they look at the money. They say, well, my parents can't afford that.
Exactly.
What am I going to do?
And it's, it's more easier now to transition from a community college to a four-year university.
Right.
So, and it also helped them and kind of have them get their feet grounded.
Right.
And give them, as you were saying, a better understanding and a better grasp of what is it that major really entails. It may look glamorous, but it may not be because of what you have to actually put into it.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity for them to go there and get established.
Well, what would you suggest that parents with young kids, students, just starting to school, I think they should develop some kind of system then so that that child, when he gets into that area, that he will have good habits.
Talk to well, this is what my husband and I did with our daughter. We talked to her a lot. We talked to her about everything, every day. And some of the things, it's really setting a standard and setting expectations of what's acceptable and what's not. And, whether it's sports, whether it's arts, whether it's academics, regardless of which area it is that you see that they will excel in, and if it's a combination of more than one, then that's fantastic. Then nurture it as much as you can. And one thing we tried not to do, and one thing I try not to do in mentoring is don't try to push the mentee to an area where they're really not going to be successful or something. It's basically like trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
Right.
Don't try to push them to an area or to a direction where you know that they won't be successful or that they'll be challenged. And it's not so much the challenge, it's that they don't have it in their heart and they don't have the enthusiasm or the drive to go after it. It's something that someone else wants them to do.
Right.
And kids can be very rebellious.
Right.
You definitely don't want to spend $150,000 sending them to college for something that they don't want to do.
Well, actually, as far as mentoring and putting a child in the environment, the parents really have to instill this into the child early.
Yes, early. It has to happen early.
Right.
It has to happen early.
Yeah.
The Boys and Girls Club, and with your grandchildren as well, the Boys and Girls Club has been, it's very important. Some people may look at it and say, oh, it's just, they're just playing sports.
Sports, right.
But there's much more to it than that.
Right.
There are a lot of life lessons that are taught on the field of play and off the field of play. And it's really kind of preparing them for what they have to be involved in and deal with when they get out into the real world.
Right.
Teamwork, collaboration, understanding how to manage your temperament.
Right.
I mean, it really has a lot. You learn a lot. You learn through disappointments.
A
lot through discipline.
Right.
There's a lot that happens with you learning discipline and understanding, structure and understanding kind of the hierarchy of leadership and, listening to listening to the coaches and the assistant coaches and following instruction and just kind of going through that whole area where you really, And, you know, our kids learn just not from their parents, they learn from everybody around them.
Yeah,
and you
right.
want to have them in an environment, whether it's a
Now,
Boys and
that's the
Girls
key.
Club. Yeah, you want to have them in an environment that's
Right,
positive
right. A
and that's
positive
nurturing.
environment that's nurturing.
Yes.
That's very important.
Yes.
That parents, and just like I say this, and some of the fellows will get on me about it, but generally the women are in the lead role. There's a desperate need for the male to get more involved with the nurturing and the mentoring
Absolutely.
of the child when they're young.
Absolutely.
And I know the male gets involved, you know, once they playing sports or something like that. But there's other things that the male image has to be improved to the point that he sees success into the male. See,
Yeah.
the women, I think they far exceed the men participation in that, because see, the women, they're closer to the child when the child is young.
Yes.
And see, they have a tendency, well, the male has to go out and bring the bread home and that type of, and the women are doing both too.
Yes.
They're bringing the bread home and mentoring the child too.
Exactly, exactly.
That's what they were saying. I think it was about 44%. You know, it's very high.
Keeps increasing.
How the misses
Yes.
are doing a terrific job both ways with the children. But the mentoring part of it, the male image has to improve. That's all the time.
Yes.
See, because most of us males, we feel, you know, we just go 9 to 5. Hey, that's just the beginning. See, because the child has to see a positiveness, a role model.
Yes.
That male role model is so important.
Absolutely.
But I like to congratulate you,
Thank you.
On your title.
Thank you
and
so much.
everything. And I'm telling you that we're very proud of you.
Thank you.
And the image, the Marlowe Boys Club and everything, you've had all sorts of experience with it, and you know how to deal with the male and the female child.
Yes.
And then you're in the mentoring, and like I said, your one of your top subjects is volunteering.
Yes.
And that's on the Ed Brown Show. That's what I always stress. Always say, you have to give back to the community.
Absolutely.
Is no one out here made it by themselves?
Absolutely.
Okay, give us that number for contact, and what we want you to do is take this number down and support Bryant Greer for this title of Mrs. United States. We're going all the way. We're not going to stop in Harrisburg. We're going to Vegas. So, hey, look. Tell us, Sandra, about this phone number that if they want to get involved in your pageant.
Okay, it's 301-646-7618.
Great. And like I like to emphasize, we're very proud of you, your family, and the dedication that you've made to Gorgeous Prince George's.
Thank you.
Okay. And
pleasure.
when you get that title, you're coming back on the Ed Brown Show.
I certainly will.
We're going to celebrate.
Pleasure.
They think they had something in New Orleans. We're going to celebrate that.
It'll be my pleasure.
This has been Ed Brown. See you next time.